Hola, ¿qué tal? Soy Robert, and I wanted to start documenting my Spanish learning journey. What are you doing back there? I'm hoping that in the future I can look back on this video and cringe at my Spanish abilities and hopefully see all the improvement that I made. So I just wanted to start filming it and start at the very beginning. So basically, I never took Spanish in high school. Big mistake. Living in Florida, it's all around, so I don't know. I definitely could have gone with Spanish, but I chose to take French. My mom had lived in France for a few years and she was younger, and my sister also decided to take French, and she's older than me, so kind of just followed in their footsteps and took French, and honestly haven't used it much. So definitely kind of wish I had just taken Spanish in the first place. But more recently have just had a lot of reasons that I wanted to start learning Spanish, and have always been just excited about learning a language but never actually committed to doing it. So here we are. The main reasons that I want to learn it are I live in Florida, like I said, so Spanish is all around, especially in Tampa or like South Florida area. I've been to Puerto Rico twice and absolutely love it. Puerto Rico is beautiful. But not knowing Spanish, I just felt kind of ashamed, kind of embarrassed that I didn't really put the effort in to try to learn the native language there. And recently, my girlfriend and I kind of decided to make it a goal to try to move to Spain someday. So with the goal of moving to Spain in mind, definitely want to just commit 100% to getting good at Spanish. The 4 things so far that I've been doing have been Dreaming Spanish, Language Transfer, which is a free app, and then Duolingo, and then I got a library book for teaching Spanish. And I wanted to outline and go over the 4 different methods and what I've thought about them so far. I also kind of wanted to provide like a speaking level example. So then in each video, maybe I can see if I'm getting better. So I'll try to say, I live with my girlfriend and 2 cats, and then just see how quickly I can come up with that sentence. And so, vivo mi novia y mi 2 gatos. So yeah, as you can see, I still have to think through like almost every word. I may have messed something up in there. Let me look it up real quick, see. I'm sure I did. I forgot the con. Vivo con mi novia y mis 2 gatos. Okay, yeah, I didn't say mis for the 2 gatos either, the plural. And then I totally forgot the with. Vivo con mi novia y mis 2 gatos. So that's a good baseline. I can come back and look at this and see how much progress I've made when I try to think of that sentence in the future, and hopefully can think of it a lot faster and a lot more accurate. So as you can see, I'm truly at a beginner baseline level. And yeah, let me just get into the methods that I've been using so far to start learning Spanish. I'm totally bought into the Dreaming Spanish method. I love the idea. Basically, if you don't know, Dreaming Spanish is a program created by a guy named Pablo, I believe. So first, I have been totally bought into the Dreaming Spanish method. The Dreaming Spanish is a platform created by a guy named Pablo, and his language learning philosophy, I guess, is that the best way to learn a language is to basically consume as much comprehensible input, is what he calls it, as possible, and basically track the hours that you spend just listening to and consuming Spanish content, especially at your level, so where you can understand like above 60, 70, 80% of the Spanish. Even if it's very beginner, you should be able to try to understand most of it, and basically learn it as you would a baby would learn a new language, just using their vision to see what the person's body language and hand gestures are, pointing to things, drawing things. Pablo creates videos where he draws things, and so I love the Dreaming Spanish method because it's just entertaining, honestly. It's just made it a lot easier to get some practice in every day, just watching videos. There's also plenty of Spanish resources out there, from podcasts to shows. One other creator I saw on YouTube that is making Dreaming Spanish progression videos is AJ Learns Spanish. Shout out AJ. He's like the first person I saw that kind of introduced me to the Dreaming Spanish method, and watching his videos has been a great resource for me, since he's gone through the same process as me, and also is in a similar situation, living in Florida, and I think he said goes to UCF, and my little brother goes to UCF, so AJ, maybe we'll collab in the future, who knows. We could practice some Spanish together, but it's been good watching his videos. He talks about and shares the different resources that he's discovered so far. So he kind of put me on to Salsa, which is a PBS show that's basically for kids to learn Spanish. So I've been watching Salsa, it's a very silly show. I watch the Dreaming Spanish videos themselves, of course. Those are great, and they have plenty of free ones, but maybe at some point I'll sign up for the actual paid account. And AJ also put me on to the Cuéntame podcast, a podcast fully in Spanish, and that's great to put on when just like doing the dishes, doing chores, and you just want to listen to some Spanish content, but at a fairly beginner level. So Dreaming Spanish has been great for me. I have literally only 8 hours right now, I think, in the platform, but it's such a good tool, and I love seeing the progression, like just seeing the hours go up. And my daily goal right now is 30 minutes a day, but I'm hoping to up that at some point, and I think as I get better at Spanish too, it'll be easier too, because I can watch more actual shows. I think that's one big thing, like when I feel like I can start understanding actual shows, that'll be huge, and just like a great motivator to keep learning. I really want to watch like Naruto in Spanish dub, or I know La Casa de Papel. I've already seen Money Heist, but I watched it in Spanish, but with the English subtitles, so I want to try to watch that again, but fully in Spanish. And yeah, being able to watch shows and content in Spanish is like a great motivator to keep going. So method number 2 that I've been trying for Spanish language learning is language transfer. And language transfer is a free app, completely run by one guy. I think his name is Mihalis. He essentially just records himself and one student one-on-one, just talking. And so it's almost like one-on-one coaching for you, because he asks the student questions and she takes a second to respond and then answers. So you have a second to pause, try to respond, and then answer yourself. So listening to language transfer has been amazing. I'm on lesson like 15 out of like 90 something for Spanish. And the approach he takes is just so different than any other that I've seen so far. I mean, you have the normal books and apps like Duolingo, or just like textbooks or things that always start with just memorizing words, memorizing conjugations, and essentially just memorizing, which trains your brain to pull those individual words out, but not really to like structure sentences, and doesn't give you a great base, I feel like. So those like methods of learning languages are kind of outdated in my opinion, compared to language transfer, or maybe even Dreaming Spanish, which are kind of like more modern methods. So language transfer, the creator, the method is very functional, I would say. He starts off by teaching a lot of different rules of the Spanish language and how it's based in Latin, and how English is also, originally comes from Latin. And so you are able to pull tons of words from these different rules. So for example, like most words in English that end in ly, I guess adverbs in English, are Spanish words too. They just change the ending to mente. So naturally is naturalmente, or essentially, which I've been saying a lot I think in this video, is esencialmente. There's tons of other rules like that too. Anything in tion is usually the same in Spanish, just pronounced different, like corporación. Another one he teaches a little later on is ending in ity, usually converts to idad. So diversity is diversidad, or ARY ending is ARIO, so contrary, contrario. And yeah, the list goes on. He has lots of different rules, but these rules kind of give you a great basis for just, I think he said almost like 3,000 words that you know right there off the bat. And obviously there are exceptions, but if you were to use that word and get the wrong ending, someone would correct you, and that would be a much better way of learning than, to try to use the word and have somebody correct you than to just be memorizing these words. So those rules are a great starting point. And then he taught, like, the main learning part of it is that you're structuring sentences. So he'll say a sentence and you have to try to practice structuring it. And then we're getting into conjugating, and but the practice of structuring sentences is such a good tool to have, and like thinking through how you would say each word in the sentence until you put it together, I think like is helping me just learning to speak so much quicker than I think any textbook or other app would have been able to. So that's my main combination so far: language transfer for speaking, and then dreaming Spanish for comprehension. So then the other two methods I have are just classic Duolingo. It's always, I know I said like language transfer is better than it for, since Duolingo is just essentially memorization and just remembering words, but it's still useful to expand your vocabulary, and just an easy, quick way to practice when you're at work or on the go. And then I also went and got a library book, not a textbook, but just a little Spanish language book. And it's kind of like similar to Duolingo, just memorization of vocab and how to conjugate some verbs. And I'll go get that book. This is the one I got here. I don't know if my video is reversed, but maybe I can flip the video back. But yeah, it's basically, you can do like one a day, and it goes by weeks, and it gets more difficult as you go. So I'm going to keep trying to do that once a day as well. And those are my 4 methods so far. So that is my plan right now to learn Spanish. We'll see how it goes. I will try to keep updating this channel when I hit different milestones, maybe like Dreaming Spanish, 50 hours, 100 hours, or language transfer when I complete certain lessons maybe, or like lesson 50, or complete the full course. I think I kind of just wanted to document this just to see my progression and kind of keep the motivation up. And maybe other people will gain something from it, just like how I learned from AJ learned Spanish. Just wanted to share my experience with it. And adios. Hasta luego, baby girl. Hasta luego, chiquita. Say hasta luego. This is my chiquita. Alright, I'll let you go, baby girl.